President Trump scores a massive win at the Supreme Court, and Pam Bondi just dropped a bombshell on national TV about Epstein that's making things way worse. We're going to break it all down, so don't go anywhere.
Well, think back to the days when Doge took all the headlines. Jobs were cut, then lawsuits filed to block the mass layoffs. Today's emergency SCOTUS ruling allows those job cuts to go forward. The departments targeted for layoffs include the USDA, Commerce, Health and Human Services, the VA, and more. Since so-called Liberation Day, tens of thousands of federal workers were fired, left their jobs, or placed on leave. President Trump describes the federal workforce as bloated.
The president has gotten multiple wins with the help of the Supreme Court, but that's not the story here. The story is about Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, because she has again been taken back to school when it comes to law, not by any of the conservative justices that she serves with, but by Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Here's what she said. I agree with Justice Jackson that the president cannot restructure federal agencies in a manner inconsistent with congressional mandates. Then she added, and here's the key, the relevant executive order directs agencies to plan reorganizations and reductions in force consistent with applicable law. Translation, the executive order is not a violation, it's legal. This is classic positive scripting. Sotomayor tried to soften the blow but still corrected Jackson. That subtle language speaks volumes about Jackson's misstep. In line with that, we know that the Supreme Court has ruled against judges blocking the president's every move with national injunctions. But guess what happened?
Federal judge is temporarily blocking the Trump administration from enforcing a ban against Planned Parenthood. So Planned Parenthood sued the Trump administration yesterday over a provision in the new tax and spending law that defunds its services. The legislation passed last week and it was signed into law by President Trump on July 4th. This new law prohibits Medicaid users from coverage with a health care provider that also offers abortion services. Now, the clinics offer a range of health care services, including birth control and cancer screenings.
This is pure judicial activism, one unelected judge trying to reverse legislation passed by the elected branches of government. It's a reminder of how far some will go to protect political agendas. Attorney General Pam Bondi is facing intense backlash over her handling of the Epstein list. She repeatedly promised that the list will be released to the public. Trump allies like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino also teased its release. But months have passed since January 21st, and now we're being told the list doesn't exist.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Even President Trump himself addressed the matter, but his comments left supporters even more frustrated.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Some former intelligence officials are now claiming that the deep state may have destroyed the list altogether. A former CIA officer even confirmed this theory on record. That's fueling speculation that powerful elites, possibly from both parties, wanted it buried.
I'm not blaming the FBI director. Kash Patel or the Deputy Director, Dan Bongino. I think that that layer beneath them, that's part of what we like to call the deep state, has taken this bull by the horns, and they've probably destroyed information. Look at what the CIA did in 1975 after Congress ordered that it release all of its files related to an operation called MK Ultra. The director of the CIA went back to headquarters and ordered everything to be destroyed. And in the end, only about 20% of the documents survived. We're still learning about the FBI's operations against Martin Luther King 55 years after the fact. So now we're supposed to believe that everybody's telling the truth, that there were no files, there were no dossiers? I'm sorry, I just don't buy it because I know how these people operate.
There's another theory brewing about this, that the Trump administration is setting a trap and legacy media is walking straight into it. CNN and other networks have been quietly reporting on Epstein again, a topic they long avoided. Is this part of a larger plan, or are we just watching political damage control? For many conservatives, the frustration is real. The Epstein files were seen as a chance to expose corruption and restore trust in justice. Now, it's beginning to look like a political tactic to win votes, a bait and switch.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going on? Well, experts, such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald, who's been covering Epstein for years, say that the notion of Epstein having an easy-to-access client list is likely a red herring. And that's what the Trump administration is relying on, that there likely isn't a list per se. But they are also now relying on the fact that because it's MAGA influencers who often put forward so many falsehoods, legacy news media won't push the point, that while there might not be a list, there are certainly files that can be released.
What do you think? Is the Trump team still planning a major reveal, or did they mislead voters for political gain? Sound off in the comments, and if you want real talk without the media filter, subscribe to the Civic Trigger. We post daily breakdowns of US politics from a center-right lens. Tap that like button if you made it this far. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.